just want to thank JD and Alana Quinn for hosting me tonight and organizing this terrific event. And also thank the National Academy of Sciences and Leonardo for generating this terrific series of programs. I'm excited to be a participant. I thought I'd talk tonight about art, science, and innovation at the Smithsonian American Art Museum, which is just a few blocks away. And I hope after hearing this, you'll all want to come and visit the museum as well. The subject of art, science, collaborations, and interdisciplinary studies in general is a rapidly growing field of study, which I am by no means an expert in. But I have certainly noted, as I'm sure many of you have, over the last 10 years or so, it has become increasingly commonplace for science and technology museums and other organizations to host art exhibitions. However, it seems, at least to me, that organizations dedicated to the display of fine art have been slower to take up the mantle of including science or scientists in their programming. And the Smithsonian American Art Museum is hopes to be trying to be a leader in redressing this imbalance. And so tonight I want to talk about two programs that I think are examples of how we're managing to do that at the Smithsonian American Art Museum. As I said in my little promo for this, this panel discussion, the museum offers a really unique context for the intersection of visual art, science, and technical invention. And that is in large part because of the museum's historic building. The building was originally designed as the U.S. Patent Office, and for more than 150 years was home to both technical invention but also artistic creativity. And so today, the American Art Museum is continuing that tradition of cross-disciplinary conversation through a variety of different exhibitions and public programs. And what you see here is an image of the U.S. Patent Office. I thought I'd just give a little bit of brief background for those of you who don't know the history of the building. The construction of the building was authorized in July 4th, 1836 by President Andrew Jackson, and building commenced quickly thereafter. It was designed expressly to celebrate American invention, technical ingenuity, and scientific advancement, and was home from the early mid-1800s till about 1932 to the U.S. patent offices. The building became known as a kind of temple for invention. The patent models were displayed in cases on the third floor, along with historical documents and painting collections as well. So this history of collaboration between the sciences and the arts is embedded in the history of the Patent Office building. And I think one of the reasons why, for me, it was really interesting to think about an exhibition featuring a contemporary artist whose work is all about that sort of merge or synthesis of art and science. And that artist is Alexis Rockman, and I'm showing just one of his paintings here, a piece called The Farm. The Alexis Rockman is featured currently in an exhibition called A Fable for Tomorrow, which has been on view at the museum since mid-November of last year and closes very shortly on May 8th. So I hope you'll have an opportunity to see it before it ends. Rockman is a New York-based painter who, for the last roughly 2 decades, has been focusing on natural sciences as his area of interest. His work combines art history, popular culture, and environmental science to focus on a wide range of subjects. He's the son of an archaeologist and an anthropologist, and so therefore has always been deeply immersed in the sciences. As a child, he traveled with his parents to Peru and Australia and considered himself becoming an archaeologist, but instead turned towards the arts and has incorporated his passion for natural science into his artworks. He uses a variety of sources, everything from 19th century painting to science fiction film, as material for inspiration. And that's borne out in the exhibition at the Smithsonian American Art Museum. The piece that you see here, I'll just mention briefly, as I said, is called The Farm, and it depicts the transformation of the agricultural farming industry over the last several decades and the introduction of genetic engineering and how that is impacting, currently impacting and could impact domestic farm animals and other agricultural products. But the piece that I really wanted to focus on, which is, I think, in this work, it's nowhere more evident than in any of his pieces, this sort of synergy of art and science. And this is a work called Manifest Destiny, a real masterpiece in Rockman's career. It was painted between 2001 and 2004 and is the centerpiece, or one of the centerpieces of the current exhibition. And it presents a kind of apocalyptic view of the Brooklyn waterfront. And what I think is extraordinary about this, not only that it is a technical tour de force, it's actually 24 feet long. It's 4 contiguous panels that make up this painting, but that it represents an investment of almost 4 years and a collaboration with architects, engineers, climatologists to create this vision of what the Brooklyn waterfront might look like several hundred years in the future as the result of global climate change. And it's an incredibly detailed painting. This image doesn't at all do it justice. But I think it's a fascinating example of Rockman's interest in this, this conversation, this sort of cross-disciplinary approach to art making. And one of the things that we've done at the American Art Museum in conjunction with this exhibition is to create a program, a lecture program about art and science collaborations. And in fact, JD was a participant in that series. And next week we will conclude with a final lecture by Christian Samper, who is the director of the Smithsonian's National Museum for Natural History. So I invite all of you who seem to have an interest in art and science to come to our program next Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. We've also had lectures as part of that series by Tom Lovejoy, who is the Biodiversity Chair at the Heinz Center here in Washington, D.C. Steve Monfort, who's another Smithsonian professional. He's the director of the Smithsonian's Conservation Biology Institute. Sorry. So it's been a fascinating program, and I'm excited that JD is continuing or building on the conversations. The other project that I wanted to mention this evening is a forthcoming exhibition. Not one that I've organized, but that's being organized by an outside curator and which will premiere at the Art Museum, the American Art Museum in July of this year. It's called The Great American Hall of Wonders, and it's an exhibition which focuses on 19th century invention and technology. There will be patent office, patent models included in the exhibition on loan from the Museum of American History here at the Smithsonian. It is, again, a fascinating intersection or look at the intersection between art, science, and invention. It will include about 150 sculptures, drawings, paintings, including the one you see here, which was done by Charles Wilson Peale, and this is a sort of a really iconic painting of Peale's that is a self-portrait. It's called The Artist in His Museum. It's from 18 1922. And it represents the sort of Wunderkammer approach to collecting that Peale was an advocate of. He was a sort of entrepreneurial portraitist with a real passion for science. He founded his own museum, and that museum not only included natural specimens, which you see in this portrait, but also paintings. So again, a sort of interesting connection between art and science that goes back to the Renaissance conception of the Wunderkammer, or the Cabinet of Curiosities. And while this exhibition, the Great American Hall of Wonders, is going to focus on 19th century innovation, all of the public programming around the exhibition will focus on inventions that are changing our world today. So we're super excited about that, and we're collaborating with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, as well as the Lemelson Center at the Museum of Natural History, for a variety of both adult and programs for children. One of which is going to be a lecture series about inventors and inventions. So sort of taking the format that we used for the Alexis Rockman programs, the art and science lectures, and looking at sort of art and invention through the lens of this exhibition. So we're really excited about it. Thank you.